That's better. Is that fast enough?
No. Hello, my name's Kit Waal, and this is my memoir, Without Warning, and Only Sometimes Scenes from an Unpredictable Childhood. And this is somebody that shared my childhood with me, my brother Dean. And today we're going to make a cake based on one of the chapters in my book where I describe in great detail the only thing we had at Christmas, which was my dad's fruitcake. So we're going to get started. This is a mixing bowl and spoon. My father would have used a bucket, massive industrial bucket, and a cricket bat to make these cakes, but we're going to be a bit more refined this time. So there's the bowl. I'm going to get the ingredients and he's going to tell you about what Dad used to do.
What Dad used to do was basically a builder's bucket, very unhygienic. It was new, but he shouldn't have had food in, no doubt. And he made a sort of cricket bat shaped paddle that he used to put all the ingredients in, and with his great big frame he used to beat it and beat it and beat it until it was a cake mixture. And I remember sometimes being told to beat it myself, and I could do about 3 strokes and then I would collapse because I was an underfed, very, very skinny boy. Before we start, the most important ingredient was fruit that had been soaked in rum, brandy and sherry, so pass me that. And when you say fruit, that's a bit... Yes, yeah, I don't mean apples. So this is prunes that my dad used to cut against the palm of his hand, do you remember that? I do remember that, yeah, because his hands were so leathery. Exactly, and he used to cut the prunes into little sections, raisins, sultanas, and I think that was it, wasn't it? Raisins, sultanas, yeah. And then soaked in July in this concoction and then put away, and the smell, ooh, yeah, burns your throat. What is that? What's the booze in there? Brandy, sherry, rum, nutmeg. Now my dad used to grate proper nutmeg itself against a grater and put it in through, but I put the nutmeg in here because I'm lazy, and cinnamon, ginger and mixed spice, allspice. Do you know what? I am. Too much? No. Really? That's really nice. Right, that's the soaking of the fruit. So that's the most important ingredient, and now I'm going to get the others. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is measure 400 grams of brown sugar. You can do that. In fact, you don't really have to measure it, you can just put nearly all of it in. The thing about my dad was completely imprecise. He weighed nothing. He didn't have a recipe. He would just look at it and taste it and taste it and taste it all the time until it looked right, until it tasted right, and then bam, that was it. So we're going to try Dad's approach of look and measure and taste. Right, what do you reckon then? That's about it. That's about right. Now we're going to take softened butter. Bear in mind, my dad's butter wasn't softened. That does sound rude. Bear in mind. You idiot. Bear in mind, the butter my dad used would have been hard blocks of butter, not softened butter. Okay, so we're guessing on the butter, as you can see. And it looks kind of equal now. It looks equal. It looks equal. This could be a disaster, we don't know. Anyway, that's not my job. That's his job to make that nice and creamy. Over to you. What do you mean? You've got to mix that together until all the grains of sugar have dissolved in the fat. That's a bit crap, actually. I know, I'm just... So you've got to stir it until it... And that's not enough butter in there. It'll go pale and all the grittiness of the sugar has to disappear, and it's got to be smooth and beautiful. And I don't think you've got enough butter in it. This is terrible flashbacks. Yeah, but look at your hand. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Hold it like that. Oh. Like a mixer. Just like a machine. That's it. Got you. Actually, that's not looking bad at all. But that would go on for hours. So when my dad used to make it, this bit just took so long because he would have pounds of butter, pounds of sugar in this massive bucket, and then he would just be doing that like a machine. Because he made, I don't know if you mentioned this in the book, but he made it for all his friends, didn't he? And they would come from Leeds and London and all over, and all take a cake away. Yeah, famous cake. So he used to make Well, the baking used to go on all evening and all night. We used to have to tend the oven, make sure, because we had a meter that we put 50 pences in it.
Yes.
And so we had to make sure the meter was fed, because the worst thing in the world would be
It ran out
halfway through the cakes. So, yeah, do you want...
a KitchenAid, yeah.
There's so much more to go.
Oh, no.
So,
is this the bit where we cut to and then it's all done?
No.
That's better. Is that fast enough?
No. I mean, it's looking right. I didn't say it was right. It's got to have... it's got to be dead smooth, pale, fluffy. And it's
Not like this.
not quite like that. Also, all the bits on the edge that you've totally ignored. And you have to put the things right in. You keep bringing it out and it splatters the bowl.
Right.
Now we're going to add some eggs, and my dad used to be able to crack the eggs like, one-handedly.
I could do that.
No, you can't.
Shall I try?
Go on. Don't ruin the cake.
Okay. The pressure now.
Oh, when did you learn to do that?
I never have.
Oh my God, right, 4 eggs,
Oh, 4.
and when you start beating the eggs in, it can't curdle, so this is what you do. This has to be beaten in, and if it all starts to separate like this, you have to add a little bit of flour until it's all goes smooth again.
Right.
Because that does look pretty revolting, to be fair. This is what it looks like, and it's not quite curdling, but it would be curdling if I wasn't clever. So we're going to add a little bit of flour to stop it all looking revolting, basically.
How much?
Sprinkle. And it's supposed to be sifted, but we're not going to sift. My dad never sifted. Thank you. But I can just hear all the home cooks going, oh, she hasn't sifted the flour. Correct. We're not going to sift the flour. So, 2 more eggs, please. 2 more one-handed eggs.
Well, I've given up on that. It got all over my hands, so I just had to prove I could do it, and then there you go.
And then, job done. So see, it's looking like it's going to curdle again, so we might need to use a little bit. Not yet. That was the.
We'll have subtitles for that bit.
Right, tiny bit more flour.
Same as before.
Starting to curdle.
Yeah.
You should be doing this bit.
No, it's best if you do this.
No, it's not right
It
at all.
you need to hold the spoon the right way and everything.
That's for beating. This isn't beating.
Oh, what's this called? Folding?
No, folding is flour.
Oh.
This is stirring. The stirring, beating and folding. Different spoon action.
Got you.
And look how curdling that is now.
Yeah.
A bit more flour. Because we want it to be smooth and batter-like.
Batter-like or batter?
No, batter-like.
Oh,
batter-like. It's cake mixture. I mean, you could call it cake batter, but Dad didn't. No, you really will have to take over because this is going to start getting tough.
Great.
So this is where you come into it. We need some muscle. See how good it's looking now?
It looks like it did look, to be fair.
I know.
That looks familiar.
And then we're going to add vanilla essence, remember?
Yeah.
And the fruit. So it needs to be a lot thicker because it's got to carry all that fruit. So I'm going to be adding this.
So hang on, am I doing stirring or how am I holding the thing again? I can't remember.
Not like that.
Oh, is
and
that
not
it?
Like that.
With the third way.
You don't hold it like a paintbrush.
Well, go on then. How do you hold it?
Like that. Nicely.
Hold it nicely. Right. What?
It's the
Listen.
dainty. It's the dainty hold.
Listen, it's how Dad would have held it.
So not though.
It's genetics. How can I be doing it wrong?
I can almost not bear it.
You could do a little diagram of, when it goes out, a little diagram.
That never ever comes into it.
God, it's endless. This is.
It is endless. Right, time for the vanilla essence.
How much of that? That much?
A lot.
God, that's a lot.
Yes,
I didn't think you'd have that much in there.
No, do you remember Dad used to buy bottles of that? Remember that
The little bottle with the red lid.
Yeah, beautiful that was.
Yeah. It always felt like, as a kid, when you smelt it, you felt like you could eat that stuff, but undoubtedly you couldn't.
Yeah, rip your tongue to shreds.
But the smell was very tempting, wasn't it?
The hand. Is that quite hard to... Yeah, it needs to be really, really beaten very, very well at this point. I think we might need the clock again.
Yeah, I think we might need some machinery, mightn't we?
No.
No, really?
No.
Oh.
You can overdo it. Right, that's good. It's getting hard to do, so we can
I need to swap arms. I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous. Oh, that's bad. It must look bad because I can't quite do it with the left hand.
That's perfect.
God, he went on for days and days doing this, didn't he? I mean, it felt like
it. It really did. It was hours. We're doing the very, very quick.
And do you remember the noise? There was like that what noise that would come from downstairs. The other thing was, of course, when he was beating it, is you'd never go anywhere near him with it because he'd have a job for you or...
Totally.
There'd be something
you had to do, so you were just avoiding.
You'd go nowhere near.
You wanted to be really close, so that as soon as he finished, you could get your hand in the bucket. Because the hand in the bucket was heaven. Obviously, it was a big bucket, so you didn't have your finger around the bowl.
No,
you had your hand around the bowl, covered in cake mixture, and then the action.
Yeah, the raw eggs, eating the raw eggs.
Healthy.
Perfect.
That's looking very, very good, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's because I'm doing
it for you. Right, now we need the fruit. I'm going to get a spoon. Wow, smell.
It's fantastic, really. So you have to take into account all the moisture that's going to go in here from there.
Which is why I kept putting the flour in.
It's why it was so, like stirring concrete.
Yes.
Got you. That's it.
Do you think that's right?
Yeah, that's perfect. I'll tell you.
You mean it has to be?
I'll tell you, it's perfect.
It does look
So you couldn't possibly use a machine on it now because that would break all that fruit up. Yeah.
Right, it's ready. Now we've got to put it into 2 tins that have been lined. My dad would never have used these. We used to use the wrapper
of the
butter and line the tins or just wipe them round with butter, but usually it was lined. But we're going to use this and you're going to pour it in.
That seems quite difficult. Do I just...
No, just... Yeah, and then I use this.
That's a spatula.
Well done. That's it.
Just keep... She doesn't go over the...
Don't worry, just
me telling you.
Move back a bit. That's it. That's probably enough in that one.
Because that's got to rise, I take it.
It doesn't rise a lot because it's fruitcake. It rises a bit next.
Let's move him out the way. Let's get that.
That's it. Right, there we go.
What about all this? Look.
You can do that.
Okay. I'll put that in there.
And then these cakes go into a medium oven. Don't know what medium means, but let's
medium
say,
size?
No, medium heat.
Okay.
160, and I couldn't tell you how long they're going for, but I know that you have to watch them, test them, test them.
And our dad used to take a knife, didn't he? And
yes.
put it in, and if it came out clean, it was...
Exactly. And then what my dad used to do is wrap, when they were cool, they cooled for ages, didn't they? And then they used to get double wrapped in foil, and then we used to go delivering them.
Shipped off is what they used to get.
Or people used to come to the house to collect their cake, and we used to obviously have 1 or 2 at Christmas.
For ourselves.
Heavens.